What is up, everybody? Spidey here, and as always, I hope you're having a marvelous day. Welcome to the Marvel Card News. We have some really big news, and that news is that PSA has announced that they're going to be grading comic books. Now, PSA has widely been held as the leader in trading card grading for primarily sports cards, but from a value resale standpoint, Marvel cards. And as a Marvel card collector, we know that that source for the things that we really enjoy is primarily Marvel comic books. Now, CGC has had their hands really wrapped around the comic book community and has been the leader in grading in comic books. And now they have a new challenger on their hands, PSA. Today, on July 19th, PSA released an article stating that they're going to be grading these comic books. It says PSA expands into comic book and magazine grading. And of course, they're going to use an iconic image of the very first full appearance of Wolverine for this announcement. And we see that they're going to be using the comic book decimal grading. But let's get into this article to learn more. And here's what they have to say. The sports collectible world has had its fair share of holy grails. The Hannes Wagner T206, the Mickey Mantles 1952 tops, and the Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer, to name a few. And rarity has always found its finest form in a PSA holder. But now PSA is excited to take its eagle eye, or would it be Hawkeye, to the most coveted comics in the world. In 2025, PSA will begin a new chapter in its heritage-rich hobby history with the introduction of comic books and magazines, authentication, and grading, along with comic book and magazine pressing. At start, we will accept most standard size comic books and magazines with plans to expand into other sizes in the future. From Superman to Spidey, I like that they got Spidey correct, Thor to Thanos, and Bruce Wayne to Bruce Banner, comic books have played a pivotal role in pop culture for a century. It only feels right for PSA to expand its offerings to include some of the most important collectibles in the hobby. PSA comic books and grading services will encompass a wide spectrum of items, including the Victorian era, the Platinum Age, Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, and modern comics. With such a wide array of services and products available at launch, PSA is poised to serve the comic and magazine collector community with the same expertise and dedication and authority it has been delivering for years to trading card collectors around the world. Although the 10-point grading scale will always be the PSA way, we are introducing a new decimal increments specific to comic books and magazines. For collectors and enthusiasts alike, PSA's expansion into the comic book and magazine grading promises to uphold the highest standards of authenticity, condition assessment, preservation, and presentation. While we move from prototype holder and label designs into production versions, we are actively listening to the community and collectors to exceed every expectation. Stay tuned for more details and updates. Now, the first place I saw this news broke was on my good friend Manu's Instagram, Manu the 9.9 Newsstand. I encourage you to go over to his page and give it a follow if you haven't already. He is a real leader in the comic book space, also has a good depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles in general. But as you can see here, he did this post this morning, already getting a lot of attention. And it basically says that PSA has made the announcement. He gives some really good commentary here. Again, I encourage you to follow it. Some of it is what's in the article. It's exciting because of this fact. Competition typically elevates things and makes them better. And so competition is really good. And PSA isn't just another company. PSA is the leader in trading card grading. And that's indisputable by the sheer number of cards that they grade and the return on investment that they typically bring back, given certain types of cards, specifically for our community, Marvel cards. CGC is not going to go anywhere, but it's nothing like a little competition to improve the quality of the experience of grading and encapsulating your collectibles. I have to tell you that there will be more about PSA grading comic books here on the Spidey Hits channels. So I want you to stay tuned for more information because I'm going to be going to SDCC and I know that there will be more information that will flow from that event there. And you say, why are we covering this here? Well, we cover Marvel trading cards, which has a grading component. And we love Marvel, which again, the source material is Marvel Comics. And so this is just a natural place for us to talk about what does this mean that, we used to be able to get comic books graded in our blue label CGC and our cards graded in a blue label CGC slab, and they would match. That went away. CGC now uses a black label, but now we can get matching slabs for our PSA slabs in our comic books. And I'm really curious how the Marvel card community is going to respond to that. Will you be grading your cards and your comics with PSA? Will you keep them separate? Will you stick with CGC? How is this going to impact the comic book community as a whole? Are you going to see people willing to break up their collections and the way that they have their slabs graded? Will people go over to PSA to give them a chance? How will values hold up? Will this bring other collectors into the comic book space or the comic character space, such as comic cards, along with comic books? How is this going to impact the hobby overall? Will our ecosystem of Marvel collectibles be impacted by this behemoth of a grading company, PSA, grading Marvel comics and DC Comics, to be fair, and magazines? Again, this is a Marvel card channel, so that is our main emphasis and focus here. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoy this kind of content related to Marvel cards and all things that surround it, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video and keeping up with the news, hit that like button for me. But as always, I hope you have a marvelous day.